Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we are diving into the last round of the Nations Cup in Gran Turismo World Series. The race took place at Watkins Glen Circuit with Group 3 cars, and honestly I wasn't even sure if I was gonna race this one because I only had a time to go for one try. But I gave it a shot and it turned out to be one of the most intense and strategic races that I've ever had. So let's try to break it down. With only time to do one race, it was a risky one, but something in me said, just why not? Let's give it a shot. So I jumped into 1 hour practice session before the race just to figure out what exactly was working and what wasn't. And of course, I was streaming the full event. Now, I knew I wasn't up to pace on this track, which is usually not the best one for me. And that was clear when I loaded up the Ghost, which was Laporte, world record holder. He was absolutely flying around the track and I couldn't even get close to his time. In the end, my best time was 42.0, which was okay, but not enough to make me feel confident that I can actually get a good result out here. So fast forward to qualifying, I got into a top split and the competition here was, well, usually is no joke. I needed a seriously good lap just to stand a chance against these guys. My first attempt, well, it was a complete mess. I got distracted in my first try and I had to go again. But on my second attempt, I pulled it together and managed to throw, I would say, a very solid lap. And somehow I qualified in P4. That was a great result for me considering this lobby and especially considering it was, well, it was actually tough for me to get a clean and fast lap. Now on to the real challenge. The race itself, it definitely wasn't going to be simple flat out sprint. We had 20 laps to go, but the problem was that we had 4 times tire wear. That means that every lap is like you're doing 4 laps in terms of how fast the tires degrade. The key to success here was, well, it was all about tire management. My strategy, 13 laps on the mediums and finish it with 7 laps with the softs. I knew I had to save the tires as much as possible or I would be in serious trouble later on. And thanks to my chat for letting me know about the best strategy, which really helped me in the end. My whole mindset shifted to driving smoothly, avoiding harsh braking and trying not to turn the wheel more than 45 degrees unless it was absolutely necessary. Now the first couple of laps were a bit concerning. As I was focused on, well, pretty much I was focused on tire saving, I noticed that the front runners were pulling away from me. They clearly had better pace and I started actually worrying at that point. So am I really that slow? Am I really falling too far behind? Can I even get close to them at the later stages of this race? I wasn't braking as hard into the corners and I avoided trail braking where it was actually possible to do that. I was all about preserving those tires because this meant that I just couldn't have the same speed as the other guys did. So by the lap 5 I was seriously wondering if I really made the right call and if this is actually the right strategy to go with. Brent on 1.5. He was at 2 seconds behind me, so he definitely is getting closer. As the race went on around the lap, just about 6 or 7, I realized that I wasn't actually losing that much time anymore. In fact, at one point I was actually starting to get closer and closer to the guys in the front. It seems like that, well, they were probably burning those tires much quicker than I was. And my cautious approach, well, it kind of started to pay off. Pento is now at a 1.9. He was at a 1.3. The gap, 3 seconds to the lead. By lap 10, a few of the front runners decided to pit early, while I stuck to my strategy. My plan was to stay out until lap 13 and I knew if I could stretch my stint with the mediums long enough, I would have a big advantage with a fresh set of softs towards the end of the race, which exactly proved to be a right strategy call in the end. Let's go with +5, I have nothing to lose. Oh yeah, Fento is in the pits, I think. He's gonna do hards now. Can I make it? Yeah, it looks like I'm not losing time, but we'll see what can happen in like 3-4 laps. Is Fento really gonna have a better strategy later? Or better tires? I don't know. Okay, now they started losing a lot of time. But so am I. Oh, someone is in the pits. I think 2 of them are. Okay. I got enough fuel. I think it's better to stay out for like this one and the next one. And of course, those last couple of laps on the mediums were tough, like really tough. I was struggling for grip, but I kept my eyes on the long-term reward. I managed to get into the pits right in the lap 13, still with just about enough tire life, well, to kind of make my strategy work. And it did work. Pit entry now. Okay. So, softs and do not refuel. I actually think I can make this. Or I can make it to the end with these tires. P2, P3 maybe? I don't know what about the strategy of the other guys. In my opinion, there is no way that they can keep those tires alive for the next 7 laps. Jack is behind me now, but once again, he has all tires. Like, I'm gonna go back to +2. Once I got fresh set of softs, the car felt completely different. A couple of laps in, I made my first overtake, and I realized later on that the guy I passed must be on hard tires, and when I watched the replay, he was on hard tires, because there was no way that he could have lasted 10 laps on the softs, or, well, he actually needed a miracle to make it to the end of the race. I mean, it's a significant difference. I don't think I should even wait for the straight. He's got the slip, maybe he's going to defend, maybe not, we'll see. I will take a defensive line. Cannot go for it. Let's wait till the end. I'm telling you, now, just about now, we'll start to see a big difference. Unless he saved up those tires, but I really don't think he could. And after all of that, I was all about pushing as hard as I possibly could while still managing my soft tires. So moving ahead, I made my way up the grid. With just a couple of laps to go, I made my final overtake and found myself in P2. I think I'm gonna get it. 1.0. Yeah, his tires are dead. Oh no, he cannot even turn. Stand, which is actually the easiest stand that I've ever done. Let's go, guys, let's go. P2. So, looking back, I realized that this race wasn't just about pure pace. It was about sticking to my strategy, sticking to my plan, keeping my tires alive and playing the long game. The leader had raw speed, but I made, in my opinion, the best possible strategy by staying on those mediums for as long as I possibly could. And by the way, congratulations, Damien. I mean, he did a really good job just preserving his tires, and just in the end, I think he had more pace than me. Just a couple of tenths per lap. And I think in the end, this race was a perfect example of why is it crucial to focus on your own strategy rather than just trying to match everyone else's pace. I knew I didn't have the speed of the leader, but just by staying committed to my tire saving approach, I was able to fight my way to P2. One more, and we got it. Okay, there we go, P2. P2. Oh man, it would be... I'm not gonna say it. It was a good race. It was a good race. It was actually an awesome race. Awesome strategy. Thank you very much for the strategy, guys. So if you ever find yourself in kind of a situation where you just don't have pure pace, remember that sometimes strategy can still win the day. So once again, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed in this one. So once again, thank you and bye.